Tonight on Oxygen Tango Live, the many stages of a tango dancer, an interview with Johnny Nguyen, coming up. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Oxygen Tango Live. Megan, how are you?
I'm pretty good, Dave. How are you?
I'm doing okay, Another amazing lighting job. You look amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm also sporting red for outfit of the day as per Nyan's command.
Okay, good. Yes, Nyan has a lot of input into our wardrobe. Probably about half the stream is now doing the outfit of the day. I'm very excited about our guests today, Mr. Johnny Nguyen. Before we bring him on, we're just going to make a couple of announcements. We are switching to a Monday, Wednesday, Friday format. So our next stream will be Wednesday, 8 p.m. Pacific time. We're streaming on YouTube and Facebook, but we do recommend, if you really want to mix it up in the chat, that you come to the YouTube chat. It's really where it's happening.
Where all the action is.
And just to remind you, the stream does occasionally get cut off. I think it's hooked up now so that it will continue in the same stream. You might just have to wait a little bit for it to come back on. If that doesn't happen, just go to our Facebook homepage, our YouTube homepage. You should be able to find the new stream. It's always back up within 2 or 3 minutes. So thank you for bearing with us. A lot of people streaming these days, I think. And lastly, to appear on the stream, all you have to do is write connect@oxygentango.com. We are interested in talking to tango dancers everywhere in the world of all levels. So we're excited to hear from you. Let's bring on our next guest, Mr. Johnny Nguyen. Here he is. There he is. Johnny, how are you?
Hi, guys. Nice to talk to you guys again. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. It feels like forever.
In a lot of ways.
Yes, exactly. I think by the time we dance again, I'm gonna get to start all over. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting what style I'll pick up next, or how I'll do as a beginner. So
yeah, come back to the place that you started.
Exactly.
Well, one of the reasons that we're really excited to have you on is that you've had so many different stages of your career. Culminating in, we don't know if it's a hiatus or retirement. We don't know what it is right now. We're all excited for your reappearance, but you've been through so many different stages. When did your tango career start? About 10 years ago now? Or was it even?
I started September 11, 2011. Oh wait, September 9. Probably something like that. September 2011.
Okay, so it has been about 10 years, and yeah, you were in the second or third Tango Challenge class. I think I remember your pictures up there on the wall.
Yeah, I think I might have been the fourth one.
Fourth one.
Yeah, I think it was
Dos son uno.
Dos son uno.
Yeah. Oh man, it feels like a long time ago, and I can honestly say, like, I remember people used to say, like, oh, even at 10 years, you're still a beginner, and like I get it now. Time goes by so fast, and yeah, I feel like I've only scratched the surface of one style of tango, really. But
what was it like for you? What do you remember about being a beginner? We actually have a lot of beginners both on the show and listening to the show. What is your recollection of that time?
I think I had a very different beginner tango experience. I think I imagine most people who did tango now, who start tango, they like it right away. Like usually within like 1, 2, 3, 4 classes or so. I think I really didn't like it until like maybe the year mark. The first 6 months, I think even the first year and a half, like I really did it just because it made my brother happy, made Brian happy. Mm-hmm. It was like a chore. It was a deal we made. So that was my end of the deal to enslave myself.
What was his end of the deal? If you don't mind my asking.
Yeah, so I think people don't know. Like, I'll try to make this as brief as possible. Brian started Tango in 2006. I started boxing in 2009. No, wait. I'm sorry. Yeah, Brian started Tango in 2006, and I started boxing in 2004. So we used to be pretty close. We used to live together. But when he did Tango and I did boxing, we split and we never saw each other. 5 years later, he made a name for himself in the Tango world. I made a name for myself in the boxing world. Oh wait, hold on a second, guys.
All right. Well,
Whoa, who could it be?
well, why don't we say hello to the chat while. Oh,
So
he's
yeah,
back.
okay, I'm back. Sorry, my drink got here. So yeah, so he started Tango '06. I started boxing in '04. We went different ways. About 5 years later, we met up again and we had lunch. Hey, bro, I haven't seen you in a while. And how's the Tango? And he was like, I just won the U.S. competition. I think I'm really good. And I was like, yeah, that sounds great. What do you do? What's it like? Well, I go out at night and I dance. I'm like how? He's like, well, we walk around and then we turn. I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't sound so hard. But he was like, I'm going to represent the U.S. at the Mundials, and this was 2000. This was 2011, and we were talking around probably around May or so, and the world competition was in August, and he was like, well, how's your boxing thing going? I was like, man, I created like a website, and people know me as like a really good boxing trainer. I was a really good fight trainer, and I had like book deals and all kinds of stuff. So I was like, yeah, I think I might release my first book and stuff, and I think I can just quit my job and just box for the rest of my life. This is kind of crazy. Like, just be a boxing figure, a boxing celebrity. And Brian was really excited. He's like, oh my God, I want to help you. How can I be a part of this? And, I told him, I said, I want to grow my empire, but I don't want to split profit with anyone. When you write a book deal, you give up 70% to the publisher. When you make a video, you give up whatever. Any deal that I would have signed, there was YouTube network deals. Every deal you can think of, I was getting it, but they want the lion's share. And I can do all this stuff myself. Actually, I have a long tech background, and I told Brian, I was like, the biggest thing I don't have is a business partner. I just need a partner to help me even like answer emails and just do all kinds of little tasks and stuff. And so that's what I need, and in return, I'll give you the cut. I'm happy to split it in-house, in family or close friends. And Brian was like, cool, more Tango shoes for me. All right, I'll help you box. How do we do it? So he became my editor. So while he was dancing, he was editing my first book and helping me shoot my first like tutorials and stuff. And he had to learn how to box. That was part of the deal. So he was watching boxing videos, and he held up his fair share of the bargain. I mean, this guy, you guys see him as a dancer, but he knows quite a bit about the boxing game and the industry, which is pretty cool. So then it was my turn. We're still at the same table at lunch, and he said, well, here's my end of the deal. You need to learn how to tango. I'm like, yeah, well, for what? I don't need to do that. He goes, well, because tango's kind of like old people, and I'm like 20 years old, and like he was like 22, and he was really young. He's like, I have no friends. I want a friend, so can you please learn how to dance so we can hang out at the Milongas? And I said, okay, that sounds awful, but I'll do it. So 6 months later, he was third in the world, and his life changed. He ended up on whatever, right? He went places, and he performed and taught and all that. And I released my first book, and I quit my job. So from there, my boxing career shot off, and so I was happy. Everything was great. Brian was helping me do the boxing stuff, and I was doing tango to make him happy, even though I hated it. I mean, if I really wanted to meet women, I go to the clubs with my friends, and we do drugs, and we try to buy hot girls drinks, and then half of them say no, and the other half say yes.
Yeah, the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, the old-fashioned way. But you go to tango. I mean, for me, right? For me, I go to tango, and this is where the old ladies won't even look at me. They see me and they look away, right? And they think. So that was my experience. It was very weird. It was very weird to be to be judged on a different currency, I guess.
Right. Interesting.
Scale of social value. So yeah. So that was my start.
I think that's a really good observation about what it's like to be a beginner, especially if you come from another area where you have a certain amount of status. It can be so jarring all of a sudden to be in an economy where you don't have any currency at all. Like nobody seems to want what you have to offer. What advice do you have for beginners out there?
For beginners, I think for followers, it helps to. For followers, I think they have to network more, be friendly, and introduce everybody to everybody. Just that, I think that's the best way. Hi, Sarah. I'm Jill. Jill. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Jill. I'm like, hi, Sarah. Hi, Sarah. I'm Jill. Sarah, have you met Billy? Okay, here's Billy. Billy, have you met Matt? Matt, have you met Sarah? Whatever. And you go back and forth, and every time you introduce people, you meet one or two more people, and that just exponentially increases the number of people you get to say hi to, and the number of people you get to talk small talk with, and increases your chances of getting dances, right? And the more dances you get, the faster you grow and the more fun you have.
Is this something that you kind of realized years later, or is this a strategy that you were deploying as a beginner also?
Well, I didn't have to do this because I was a leader. So this is what I recommend for followers. I saw it early on. In the early days, it was me and Kaylin and Guillaume and Juana. And we'd go, and it was just two shitty followers at the Milonga. And whoever we danced with, we offered them wine. We said, hey, why don't you come back to our table? We got some wine. Do you want some wine? You want some wine? Everybody says yes if you invite them to wine. Then you invite them back to your table. Now your table is not so lonely and small anymore. You have intermediate dancers and whatever. And whoever comes by the table that says hi, we offer them wine. And before you know it, we're throwing a party in the middle of the Milonga, and we get to dance with whoever we want. So for followers, you really got to network. You can't wallflower and be shy and any of that. For leaders, I've said this to many leaders before. Go out, get rejected. It's the most incredible thing. Go out, get rejected by every follower in the room. Learn to enjoy it. Tell stories about your worst rejections, and just have fun with it. Don't hide from the rejections. Just go out and collect as many as you can in one night. And then after 2 years, a year or two, you won't have that problem anymore. Just go out there. Put yourself out there.
We have a request from the chat to know what you're drinking.
Oh, it's a guava aloe vera juice with some boba in there.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
Bougie.
And later some scotch, but
It's by far the fanciest drink we've had on the stream.
So the next stage of your tango career, I have written down here. Maybe you with the next, according to my memory, was the Tango House. How far into your tango career was? How many years had you been dancing when you decided to live in this house together? And who are those people? Tell us a little bit about that.
And explain what the Tango House is. There's a lot of people listening that have no idea.
Okay. So we had a few. There was a few eras. So when I started was the beginning. I started tango for Brian. That was my deal, and I really didn't like it all that much. And then I brought Derek in. So Derek and I are we're frat brothers. We went to college together. I know him from real life.
Derek
we
Tang.
partied. Yeah, Derek Tang. We got drunk. We got pictures of each other that nobody should see. So, bros. We bros.
Just making a note.
Yeah, so we, at the year mark, Kaylin, so that was my girlfriend, dance partner at the time. She got a job at Apple up in the Bay Area, and she had to move. I went with her. So immediately I went to San Francisco. And it was really funny because all the rejections I had in LA, after a year, I just finally stopped getting rejected. Like I could dance with half the followers. Now I move, it's rejection all over again. And San Francisco is even tougher. So it took about another year there before I stopped getting rejected. So I started over there, and then what happened was me and Kayla, we split up. I was with somebody else, and then I wanted to find a tango partner for competition and whatnot. And the only problem is, if you don't know, it's Man Francisco. It's a tech city. It's all tech. It's all dudes. It's the ratio to Milongas can be 5 leads for every one follower. And for me, being a crappy 2-year leader, it's gonna be pretty hard. You're not gonna find anybody. Whereas LA had just tons of followers. So I moved back, and when I moved back, Derek, again, frat brother, he was like, "Hey man," because we used to hang out in not like a frat house, but actually kind of like a frat house. He's like, "Hey, we should do like a tango house. It'll be like a party house. We'll have milongas and privates. Like private training sessions, like practice sessions, and just have fun." And so it was great. Me, Derek, Robert, and Colleen, 4 of us, we made a tango house. And it was so cool because it was like 4 different tango styles, different personalities. We had different friends. And it was just a dream. It was kind of like an open tango house. It was tango 24/7. And practicing was really infectious because the dance floor was, I'm sure, David, you've been there, the dance floor is next to the kitchen. So you can't help. You go out there for a bowl of cereal, and then you see the mirrors, and you try some ochos. And you try some ochos, the roommate comes out and tries some ochos. And then you go, "Hey, I want to try this figure," right? So we'll shoot different YouTube videos on the wall. We'll project it on the wall and then try to do the moves. And then came the parties. Oh man! So it was really funny because when I first started in LA, like I don't mind the whole rejection thing, but it was like it would be nice if I could just create a space where all the people that wanted to dance with me were conveniently in the same room. So, and I remember I remember my breaking point. I wanted to ask this girl to dance at the Oxygen Practica, and so I just kind of waited. I waffle-houred around, waited, and finally, when she was free and I had the courage, and I walked up and asked if she wanted to dance, and she's like, "No, sorry, I'm busy. I'm busy," or something. And right that moment, somebody, some guy who was holed up in the bathroom for a really long time, opens the bathroom, comes out, and just like, "Hey, want to dance?" And she's like, "Okay." And he wasn't a good dancer. I felt he wasn't a good dancer. I didn't think he was one of those magical embrace guys. But she was like, "Okay, yeah, sure." So I go to Mitra, and I'm like, "Hey, look." Oh, and back in the days, the Oxygen Practica was like rated. There was tons of pros. All kinds of pros were there. Like that was like a pro hotspot. So I asked Mitra, and I said, "Hey, can I create like a beginner's practica where like we just encourage people to dance crappy and that it's okay?" And she loved the idea of it. So I started the beginner's practica, and I advertised it literally by going to Milongas and saying, "Hey, there's a practica for crappy dancers. If you can't dance at all, this place, I want you there. Don't worry about it. It's $5, and if you don't have money, that's okay too. All we ask is that you're crappy, you're beginner, and you're friendly, and you want to learn how to dance." So anyway, we did a tango house. The tango house parties were basically a milonga of the same kind of vibe. We just all the friendliest people that we thought were either A, willing to dance with anybody, or B, willing to talk to anybody. And that was it. We invited a whole bunch of people, put costumes, themes, we decorated, put lights. Of course, we had tons of alcohol, tons of food. It was a potluck. And then it was just a blast. I mean, I think it was one of the best of the LA tango years. But yeah, so I hope that answers your question.
It does, yeah. It was a lot of fun, a lot of good memories there, and it was infectious. I remember going to practice sessions there. Yeah, people, you never knew who was going to show up. People coming in and out. You guys had a really nice structure to the practica. You would take time. Everyone would show a move. a lot of experimentation was encouraged. Unsolicited feedback was explicitly forbidden. It was
Oh yeah.
yeah. And you guys really circulated a lot of tango energy, especially among younger people in LA, and I think actually you can still see the ripples from that. So.
And for those of you that don't know the Robert that he's talking about, I mean, most of you know who Derek is. Derek Ting teaches at Oxygen, competition salon champion. But Robert that he's talking about is Robert that runs Tango Mio now. So I just think that's pretty cool.
And at least at the beginning, I don't know if this was the explicit purpose of it, was you guys were all practicing to compete. So this was even 2 years in. I guess you kind of started to enjoy it by now, but right away you became competition focused. What got you pointed in that direction so early in your tango career?
Oh boy. So when I started tango, I was boxing during the day and doing tango at night. So the way my boxing career went was I was a natural fighter, and I always wanted to compete. But boxing competitions, especially in SoCal, it is really stiff competition, and it's also really dangerous. We have a lot of guys coming up from Mexico. In Mexico, they have a competition record of like 100 fights, and they go to the U.S. and they enter like the novice division. And it's really dangerous. So I've always wanted to do boxing competitions, but this year I had to focus on graduating. Next year I had to focus on my business. The year after that I had a girlfriend. The year after that, this and that, all kinds of excuses. And then finally, in one of the final years where I was like, okay, this is the year where I'm going to train. I'm going to start taking fights and entering tournaments and whatnot. I took a shot. I took a shot to the head, and I felt something was wrong inside my head for about 2 weeks, and then a kid in another gym, a fighter in another gym down the street, died in sparring. Okay. So for me it was kind of like, and there were a lot of guys I sparred with every day, and they've never hurt me, and now they're starting to I can feel like they're chipping away at my life, like I'm losing a couple years off my life every time I get in the ring. So it was just like a come to Jesus moment, and the writing was on the wall. My time was done, and one of my deepest regrets was that I became famous in the boxing world as a trainer, and if I could give it all back to be famous as a fighter, I think I would have gladly given it all back. So. I had a forced retirement from boxing. So my first retirement, actually second retirement from boxing, I think around the age 27, 28, around there. And, I was talking to Brian, he's like, hey, what do you miss about it? I'm like, well, just the toughness, the competition, and the training. And it takes a lot of growth, to even just be average. It takes a lot of growth. You have to really push yourself. So Brian was just like, I know you don't like tango, but we have competition too. It's really hard. Like, it's really, really hard to tango competition. So why don't you try that? So with all the free time, I had to fill a void, and so I started trying to do tango competitions. And to this day, I didn't like tango at first, but I'm very grateful for tango now. When I had my forced retirement, it was really sad because to go from an exciting adrenaline-filled sport like boxing, like fighting, it's really hard to find a replacement sport. You can't go to mini golf, basketball, I don't know, kayaking. It's not the same. And I would have to say tango is very acceptable. It probably even better as a physical, mental, spiritual challenge. So. I was drawn to it, and right away I went to competitions just for training, not because I cared so much about the style or any of that.
I see. So you were starting to dance tango while your boxing career was still going on, and then once the boxing career went away, then you had some experience in tango, but that's when you really started to take it really seriously and direct all of that competitive energy into tango. Interesting. I didn't realize that.
Exactly. Yeah, all my physical energy, I guess you could say.
Did you find any, where did it overlap? Where did it not? Where did your boxing skills come in handy, and where did they hold you up?
Ooh. So there's so many people that feel like, oh, if you do martial arts or if you do any fighting, there's an overlap, that the skills are transferable and it helps you dance, or people will dance with me, oh my God, I can feel it in your dance and this and that. And I'll tell anybody, I feel the fighting has definitely hindered my dancing in every way. I don't think it's a benefit at all. And even today, I still have to work so hard. If I pay for a private, it's going to be a private that shows me why some of my fighting habits are wrecking my dance. And the most basic explanation I can give to people is that in Tango, your number one goal more than anything is to show yourself, show your core, and be predictable. And in fighting, the absolute essence of it, it's hide your core and be as unpredictable, be as what's the word? I used to have a word for it. I would say, yeah, just to be as dishonest. That was the word. In fighting, you're a liar. You're a liar the whole time. You're the most dishonest movement you can invent. I look like I'm over here, but I'm actually over here. My body looks like it's over here, but it's actually over here. Like, it looks like I'm going forward, actually I'm going backwards. So we're constantly trained, and it's built in by 15 years. I've been fighting 15 years now, 16 years. So it's so ingrained. I have a really hard time moving honestly. I have a hard time facing my partners, right? Like facing them straight on. My body wants to angle off. I want to hide my chin, hide my core. I have this cool technique that I use in fighting. I call it the disappearing core. And which is, I don't know if you guys see professional boxers and they punch each other a couple hundred times and they're fine. And it's because they know how to take their core away so that you can't hit them square on. Even when you punch them, it feels like you're punching a bag of water or you're punching air. So unfortunately, that incredible ability doesn't work in Tango because your partner holds you. They're you're in their arms, they're in your arms, but they still can't feel where I am. A lot of them, they go like, oh man, I have no idea where you are. I don't know what leg you're on. I don't know where your body is. So anyway, that's my spiel.
Very interesting. And did it go in reverse too? That once you started studying Tango and you went back to boxing, would they kind of adversely impact each other in that way?
Actually, no, because boxing's my dominant habit of movement. It's my dominant movement habit. And second, my Tango's made my boxing better, actually. It's made me more stable, more grounded. It's made me a better fighter.
I just got this image. You know how boxers, they go into that, like, hug? And then I just got this image all of a sudden, like, you take a Tango embrace, you don't even realize it.
There's a funny video of me and Derek somewhere. We're in the boxing ring, and it looks like we're going to fight, and then we dance.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, this...
And Mars pitching in. The comparison is so interesting, she says. I used to box. I was really, really bad at
it. And one of your former students wants to know what you hated about teaching, so good luck with that.
About teaching what?
Tango. One of your former tangos. I don't think we have any of your former boxing students in here.
Yeah. About teaching Tango, I hate defining rules. There are many teachers out there that like to be strict and say, this is the way you should do it. And I'll say that as well. But when I teach it, I sincerely, I want people to just have fun and then to immediately break the rule as soon as they can. The moment they find better technique, please do the better thing. Or if you take a lesson with a better dancer, do what they tell you. What I tell you is just the game for today. But I felt like, I felt like some dances were too rigid. They're listening too much to instruction rather than just playing. So I'm more of that kind of dancer. I prefer to explore and let me figure it out. It'll probably take me 10 years longer, but I I prefer that. Also I feel like there are other teachers and dancers that I think are just, I don't know, better qualified to teach, have a better mentality for teaching. I try to be so professional when I'm teaching at Oxygen, but you guys, I used to be in the military, and when I was trained in a boxing gym, they were rough. The kind of language they use when you do something wrong, and how they let you know that you're wrong. It's quite crass. It's harsh. It's funny. They make fun of you, this and that. That's naturally more of my teaching style. When I'm at Oxygen Tango, I have to just pull the reins, hold myself in. I'm like, okay, be calm. This. Don't train them like fighters, because when I'm training a fighter, I pick the most talented guys. I pick the guys that want to go to competition and want to do it seriously. I don't do people who just want to lose weight or get in shape, or people are just doing it for fun. I don't teach any of that. So for Oxygen, I have to really put myself in a different mentality, and for that reason, I feel like maybe I'm not the perfect guy for the job.
Oh man, but I gained a lot from coaching with you for a competition. A lot. I would say it's probably like the single quickest, biggest jump that I took in Tango was that time.
Yeah, for those that don't know, Johnny was teaching on Thursday nights, but also did an intensive competition prep course, which a few people did. And there, in that, I guess you did get to kind of go a little harder and let it out a little bit more, but. Yeah, there's nothing quite like. Well, Megan's done it. Megan, you've done it a couple times. It's incredibly impactful on your dancing to prepare that way for a competition.
Yeah, I loved it. I think I saw that boxing coach come out just a little bit on Jack in our private sessions. I always enjoyed that. Jack needs that tough love.
So I'm curious, Johnny. So it sounds, if I have the timeline straight, you sort of started Tango, you weren't really enjoying it, then kind of your boxing career changed, you started getting more into the competitive aspect of it. But my recollection is you were still a fixture in the Milongas at this time. Pretty much every night. If you weren't at the Tango House, maybe I'm thinking a little bit before the Tango House too, but I would just see you out everywhere. You were at the Milongas. So when did you start to enjoy that aspect of it, and how does that part of it fit in with you? Because not every competitive dancer is also super into the Milongas, and going out every night. So how do those fit together for you?
I'm definitely more a social dancer than a competitive dancer. I know there's competition dancers, and I feel like their day-to-day 24/7 goal is to win a competition. I'm definitely, I consider myself a social dancer more than anything, a club dancer. I love I love creating, doing weird stuff, doing new stuff, and just making new things and doing things. I love out of the box dancing as much as anybody, being creative and all that. But then I also love the chance to, I look at the competitions really I look at it as community showcase. You get to go out there, put on a suit, and then dance in front of your friends and have fun. They have it for all other kinds of dances and art forms where you get to have community showcase stuff. In Tango, unfortunately, the only thing they have is competition. So be it. So be it. But the question was, when did I start to enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
Around when and
sure.
I would say probably around the 3 to 4 year mark. I was really ungrounded, and a lot of people couldn't feel my core. That was the hard thing. So when you dance with people, and it's tough because I can tell there are a lot of people out there. There are many followers out there. They like me as a person. They like talking to me, but they couldn't stand dancing with me. I just have a lanky, wiry frame. around a lot. I got too much energy, and then the whole dishonest movement thing that makes it really hard. So around the 3-4 year mark, I don't know. I woke up one day and accidentally somehow my technique changed, and fallers started figuring out. They're like, "Oh, I know what leg he's on. I know what crazy stuff he's trying to do." And then that was it.
It started to click for you a little more after around the 3 or 4 year mark.
Yeah.
And what if anything do you think we talked about the things that you were getting from Tango that were similar to boxing? Was Tango giving you anything that you weren't getting from boxing?
Well, I mean, at the time that I had to quit boxing, it let my body do something that was fun and exciting. So it was a fun exercise. It's very creative.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very creative. I'm not getting beat up, At the level that I was boxing, a lot of my sparring partners were turning pro, and they're going to national competitions and that kind of stuff. So when they hit me, it takes something. It's like they're beating my organs. I might piss blood. I might feel like, it's like these are pro level guys. So at least Tango, when I dance with a really good dancer, I'm gonna be fine.
Mm-hmm.
They don't hurt me, and I get to have 3, 4, 5, 6 hours of creativity. Whereas boxing, you get to go all out for maybe 30, 40 minutes tops. So that you only get a 30-minute adrenaline rush, whereas Tango can be like a 6-hour adrenaline rush on a good night, right? Like not every night,
Sure.
Of course.
Interesting. So
I'm still waiting for a 6-hour one.
6-hour one.
I feel like I could get to maybe like 20, 30 minutes on a good night right now.
After 6 hours, after you put in 6 hours.
I see. Right, yeah.
So
well, okay. I like the Tango gives you a universal language. I love that. You can go to any country in the world without even speaking the language. You'll make some friends, You'll make some dinner partners and whatnot. And so that's a whole lot of fun. And also too, I like that I have a life after boxing. When my body's completely done, there's a sport that I'm probably not even old enough to do, right? I probably won't hit my Tango prime until I'm like 65 or whatever. So that's really nice.
What's so what's Tango for you right now? I mean, obviously, right now, Tango has a very small place in all of our lives. But maybe just before this, and what you're hoping for when people are allowed to dance again. But what stage are you in right now? You took a long break from Tango. Why? And where's Tango in your life right now?
Yeah. So at the time, let me see. When I took my first break, it was like 2019 or so. 2019, like around March or. Well, I already had a lower back injury, and it was really weird. So around early 2019, I had a lower back injury. It's an injury that comes back like once every 3 to 5 years. I'm sure, David, your lower back you bend down, not even picking up anything heavy, and then that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, my sciatica was going out on my right side. My right knee was already going out. And my right foot was a little weak, right ankle was a little weak. And I've been going, like, for the past 3-4 years, I've been going to different healers and crazy people and voodoo people and whatnot, and trying this and that to repair my body. And it was really weird. I just said, you know what, I'm going to take some time off. I'm going to force myself off the dance floor. And at first it was really hard because I kept trying to come back every month and aggravating the injury. But ultimately, it's honestly, it's just Tango overuse. It's too many years of trying to spin around on one foot, really drilling certain moves and just exhausting my joints. So in a crazy turn of events, I rehabbed my Tango injuries with boxing, I went. I shouldn't be back in the gym. I shouldn't be back in the ring. But I was like, yeah, you know what? Like, because I'm still very active in the sport. Last year I trained. It was really cool. One of my friends just turned pro, and he asked me to corner for him. So it was really cool. So you see me up there on TV. I'm in the corner, yelling at him, slapping him. Like, I didn't slap him. I just said, hey, you're getting your butt kicked, and you need to do what I tell you. It's live coaching. So it was a lot of fun. And just for and then another thing happened. My brother, so the brother between me and Brian, there's another one named Bach. So he's a Long Beach police officer. He wanted to compete. There's a boxing league for law enforcement. It's like the police officer, the sheriff, and the firefighters. They all get together and have a giant boxing tournament. So he signed up, and he said, "Johnny, can you train me?" So he took me back into sport. I started sparring with him, and then I started sparring with other people. I don't know. I feel great. I thought my body was done. I thought my brain was done, and that my career was done. But I started sparring, and you know what? I still have a lot of the athleticism. I'm still hurting people. I still have the reflexes. I keep an eye on the guys that are competing right now, and actually I'm hanging in with them okay. I thought about competing too for boxing, so that's just what I was doing. And then my work in the boxing world was taken off. It's still taken off, and so I just kind of said, you know what, this is I'm 35 now, so maybe I have 5 more years of my physical prime left. Maybe fight it out a little bit. Because Tango I can do, you know what I mean? That's fine. But yeah, I don't know. So I don't know. I'm scheming. I have some friends. It's like Tango, the Tango world. They have the boxing world. There's like competition organizers, and there's shows and workshops and whatnot. I've been planning to teach some workshops in the boxing world and whatnot. So yeah.
So you haven't ruled out a return to Tango at some point?
Yeah, definitely I do. Definitely I do. I would like to. Well, right now my legs they feel great. Everything's totally rehabbed. Lately there have been some teachers that have come into town, so I've tried to take some private lessons with them. I've gone to a few Molongas here and there, but right now I think maybe for the next year or so, I just want to close out some boxing projects, just to have it while I'm still young, while I still have my athleticism, and then come back to Tango, and then see how far I've been passed up.
Well, every 6 months I write Johnny and I try to get him back teaching again. So I guess I'll just have to do that 10 more times, and then maybe the 5 he'll be ready.
Yeah. I'll be back. I missed you guys. Every time I come out to the Molonga, I'm like, oh my god, it's like I feel like a visitor. People ask me, hey, are you visiting, and this and that. I'm like, oh no.
Boy, they forget so fast.
Yeah.
So Sachin Mehta chimes in, 8 years of physical prime left, at least 8 in his opinion. Ann Hars has a question: what are the best drills for quarantine?
Tango drills.
I assume she means tango drills, although she's also been had a lot to say about boxing.
Yeah, that's right. Why would anybody ask about? Why would I ask about boxing drills?
She did actually say she boxed at a gym in Brooklyn called Gleason's in her neighborhood. They had a rule that no one could give anyone advice. It was fantastic because she was usually the only woman.
Yeah, Gleason's is an iconic gym. It's produced so many world champions. Like Lennox Lewis came out of there. Mike Tyson probably came out. He came out of Catskills. But anyway, best tango drills. Alone. I'm pretty sure she means solo drills. Walk forwards, walk backwards, sideways, forward ocho, backward ocho. Then watch 10 different dancers on YouTube. Some that you like, some that you hate. Copy them the best you can. Record video of yourself. See if you look like what they're doing. So try to reverse engineer. I truly believe a lot of the best techniques out there, they'll never teach it to you. The only way you can get is steal it. That's it. They'll never give you their $1 million technique. So, and if I had $1 million technique, I'm not so sure I would give it away, in a group class.
I feel like I actually now have a memory of being in a group class and you saying, "This is my $1 million technique." I'm not positive.
I was feeling
I'm
very
having deja vu right now.
Generous.
That was Monopoly money. That wasn't real.
Yeah, but I'm an asshole because I can't remember what the technique was. I think I thought the $1 million technique was hyperbole. Dumbass.
I've often felt that way. Maybe not every teacher, but the teachers will give you the secrets, but they won't give you their secrets, their personal secrets necessarily. Mm-hmm. At least maybe not right away.
I feel too. I mean, like, the best dancing that you'll ever see is not going to be in a class. It's going to be at the Milonga. And I was taught this early on. You go to the Milonga. No guy teaching figures. No guy teaches his figures. If you want to see his figures, go to the Milonga. Just wait till the end of the night when he dances with the follower that he really wants to dance with, and then he hides in the inside row. That's when you watch him. And whatever figure he does there will not be the ones that he teaches in the group classes and the workshops. And whatever technique he uses there will be the stuff that he doesn't teach. So you watch him, and if you can learn by watching, you can learn everybody's technique. And same for followers, right? Learn by watching. Just go late night, end of the night, the last hour, watch every follower, and then try to remember, go home, do it.
Oh, man. I'm terrible at learning through watching. Recommitted to working on that, though.
But it's a great, if you can do it like that, you can look at things and reverse engineer it. I mean, it's so much faster than asking questions and have somebody try to explain to you what they're doing. Oh, it's like a car, it's like a tree, it's like a monkey, it's like a banana.
Oh my God, you'll never like a banana. Thanks, Johnny. Yeah, and plus, any discovery you make on your own is probably going to be more impactful and longer lasting to have that discovery. Mm-hmm. Well,
for sure.
We have 2 questions we've been asking pretty much everyone. First, what, if anything, do you miss about Tango? For you, it's been a little longer than just a couple of weeks, but...
Yeah. I miss creating. I miss moving around with. I miss creating with another person. Everything that I do in my work nowadays is so premeditated. It's premeditated creation. When I'm dancing tango, it's a lot of accidental creation. So just happens to be that we're right there, and we're about to run into a table, and then the music changed, and then all of a sudden I go the other way, and she doesn't follow, but hey, we made something cool. So I miss that. That for me is like the gem of tango, to accidentally create cool stuff. So I really like that. And then also I like just being physical, just moving around. I love moving around, spinning and twirling and doing all kinds of, so I miss a whole lot of that. I felt very alive when I was dancing. So yeah, definitely that. And of course, the whole friends thing too. Mm-hmm. Just to see and talk to them, see what they're up to.
And what would you change about tango?
Ooh.
All right, Pater.
I wish. First off, I like the current state of tango. I feel like people are always complaining. Oh, people are mean or this and that. Like, one, I wish there were more teachers. We have way too many events and not enough dancers. And I believe teachers create dancers, and we should have way more teachers. And I believe everyone should teach. Like, it's like skateboarding or breakdancing or one of those million other hobbies that you could be doing. And even if you don't learn from a professional, you can still learn something from your cousin, your neighbor, anybody. You can learn from anybody else. back in the days, Tango wasn't taught in a studio in group classes or any of that. You learn it from your mom, your uncle, your grandfather, your friend. Hey, come here, do this. Stick your finger here and see what happens. So it was, like, but it needs to go back to that like kind of grassroots, like everybody's a teacher, everybody's a student, and to just show and share. I think that would really help the growth of Tango. I don't like this whole like people judging teachers. People judge dancers. People watch another dancer out there and go, "Oh, their dance is like this," and it's like, dude, there's 100 other dancers in the same room. You don't like looking at that one, right. Look at another one. Yeah. Same thing for teachers and pros. You don't like this one, there's another one. So I think that attitude has kept many people from wanting to share their passion of Tango. So yeah, I wish there were more teachers, and I don't care. I don't care. Beginner teachers, people dance for 6 months, and now want to open a Tango class. All the better. If they can create 10, 20 Tango students, all the better. I hope they run out and do it. I'll go and support. So that would probably be my main thing.
More teaching, less judging.
Yep.
Democratize Tango.
Yeah.
Great.
Johnny, I am wondering if you are really into any shows or books or podcasts. Have any recommendations for all of us out here cooped up who have ran to the bottom of our Netflix queues?
Well, usually I'm the one doing podcasts and streams and videos. I don't watch too many, but I saw the Tiger King on Netflix. Yeah. I thought that was hilarious.
We just watched that too.
Watched it.
I've been calling myself the Tiger King for the last 2 weeks. I feel like I've got my Halloween costume all set.
I think it does strike a little close to home, that documentary. The Tango fiefdoms maybe are not quite so different from the little tiger kingdoms,
Yeah. But they need to make the Tango King.
Yeah, exactly.
There needs to be a little mockumentary of the Tango King, and that needs to be out there. Yeah, I mean, what other kind? I've watched all. I had a Pixar marathon the other day. I watched WALL-E, Finding Nemo 1, Finding Nemo 2. I totally forgot the whole story. I just knew there was an orange striped fish, but I forgot what happened.
Ooh, a Pixar marathon sounds great, actually.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, well, that should keep us going for another few hours at least. Just watch all the Pixar movies.
Yeah. Oh no, but I've been really productive. I've got my businesses and whatnot, and yeah, I've been super super productive. So I don't even have that much free time to go Netflix and I have Hulu. I love South Park.
South Park.
What is your job?
So
top secret?
No, it's not top secret. It's just I try to separate my personalities. So I do 3 things. I box, I tango, and I do tech. I'm a tech person. So I do the stuff in my boxing world. I teach people how to fight. Have an online community and whatnot, and I have instructionals and YouTube videos floating around out there, and basically I teach people all around the world how to beat each other up. People send me their videos. They ask for advice. They ask for coaching tips and that kind of thing. I do collaborations with other YouTubers. I review gear. I'm sponsored. I have equipment companies. They send me tons and tons of free gloves, shoes, helmets, whatever you name it. Free gear. I test it out. I give them feedback. They adjust it. They adjust their equipment based on my feedback. They send it back to me, and if I review them favorably, it affects their business. If I review them poorly, it affects their business. But I tell the truth. In the tech world, I manage web development clients. I manage web servers around the world. So their clients, we have small clients, they get maybe 1,000 hits a month. Then we have giant conglomerates, they get 30 million hits a month, and I manage their servers. So I manage their web servers. I make sure it runs fast, it's smooth. I have teams, I have developers, designers, coders, systems admins, marketers, blah blah blah, and so we take care of all that, and it's kind of cool because it's given me a lot of freedom in my life. I can work remotely. Days I don't want to work, I don't have to work. If I want to delegate to somebody else, I can. And then yeah.
Sounds like that empire is intact.
Yeah. I've been doing this for so long. I mean, Tango's probably like the weakest arm of the triangle, the weakest point of the triangle. But yeah, I've been a tech guy for like 20 years, and I've done it all. Any possible tech scale, we've done it.
Great.
Wow, man, I'm exhausted. I also feel like I need to do something with my life after that.
You guys are doing Oxygen. I love what you guys are doing with Oxygen. By the way, I'm such a big fan of like Mitra's vision, and the more time that passes, the more that I love what she did. If I was to do my own Tango thing, be a part of the Tango thing in LA, I wouldn't have done it any differently or any better than what Mitra did with Oxygen. And then when she handed it off, I think that's kind of scary because to replace Mitra and Stefan is tough. They're their own kind of genius. Really, they're their own kind of community geniuses, and they have such a warm, pure, honest heart that it's hard to find that in this world. It exists out there, but people who have that kind of heart and the time and the passion for Tango and business sense and social sense and all that's really tough. But I was so glad when she handed it over to you guys, and you guys have done. If anybody could grow, it was you guys, and you guys have done great. I'm very proud to tell people that I started at Oxygen. There's some people who think I didn't start at Oxygen, and I correct them. So.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. It means a lot.
Yeah, no, it is an honor to come back and give back to this community any way that I can, and yeah, I'm very grateful, very honored, guys.
Well, great.
Well,
thanks, Johnny.
This was so much fun. Thanks for checking in with us, and it's really great to see your face again, see how you're doing, and it sounds like you will be walking into the Thursday Practica one of these days.
Yes. Yes, I swear I will be back, and I won't be so rusty. I'll try to like walk and stuff, so I don't.
Yeah, make sure you get up to a certain level before you come back, though. Yeah.
I'm gonna do the level 100 test before I go to the practice.
Okay, good.
Thanks, Johnny. Thanks for spending an hour with us, telling us about all the cool shit that you've done and are doing right now. Yeah, thanks a lot. Nice catching up with you.
Okay, guys.
We'll talk to you soon.
Have a great night.
You too.
Peace. Talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.